All right, so obviously we're gonna. My left eye is like twitching. I don't know what that's about. So my Instagram kind of fucked up for a little bit to where I couldn't actually go into the question. So there might be some questions that I missed, but I mean I have a decent amount of questions here to answer. So we'll just start off with the first ones here. How long have you been making music for? That's a pretty easy one. I started when I was 19. So I was 19 years old, and I went into music, and like I went from filmmaking to music. And now I'm 27. I just turned 27 on the 6th of September. So I started really picking it up at 20. So I could honestly say 7 years, really. So like 7 years, I would say. So probably a good answer there. What is your style called? I would say my style is just like well, it's not for everybody, I know that. It seems to be like very intense in a sense of like, if I'm not rapping or screaming really, right? I like to make things more cinematic. So when you look at specific albums that I've made, like The King of Scotland or The Ballad of Cowardice, especially The King of Scotland, but it's like they all have these very like cinematic feels to them. So I don't know, I feel like my filmmaking background kind of comes into play when I'm doing music and my style and everything. So I think that's what I would say, like cinematic is probably the best way to describe my style. What and who got you into music? My one friend who you all know as Griswold, his name is Tyler though. Shout out to Tyler. We started working together in a seafood department when I was 17. And he did music, and he's so fucking good at music. Like he just like introduced me to it more. It was kind of like that like sparked it, where I was like, it sparked my interest, because he would be like, yo, you should try this or do this. Like he was like the first one to tell me that I had like a really good voice outside of like my family. And I would go over to his house, we would record stuff and everything. And I think I remember there was a question on here that asked me where the name Biv came from. That's where it came from. Was we were going to be a duo. We were going to be Roy G Biv. Him being Roy G, me being Biv. I was like, I just kind of want to be solo, because I don't know. I work best by myself. Like I just enjoy working by myself. It's no offense to anybody else. Like obviously I do collabs and all that stuff, but I just knew I wanted to be solo, and he didn't take any offense to that at all. He was like, just keep the name Biv because it fits you like so well. Like, and it does. Like it's practically like my fucking actual name now. What got me into music, I would say, is just like the interest though, like just the mere fact of where I wanted to try it. I was like, if I don't do this, I'm never gonna do it like ever. What do you wish to achieve through your music or art? I think the very generic answer is like being able to live off of it and everything, which of course is a true statement. Like I'm not bullshitting when I say that. Like that is something that I want to do. I want to be able to live comfortably off of my art, but I do have this sense of responsibility because of what I'm capable of and what I've recognized that I'm capable of. I have the sense of like responsibility to pretty much go as far as I can with it, and then see if I can reach more people or inspire anybody to I mean in any sort of way. I feel like music can inspire people in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be like, or inspire them to start music or like whatever, but it's just like and I would just like to leave a specific mark in people's lives for as long as I can. That's pretty much the goal. Like it's not like you make a mark on one and then you're like, okay, like it's addictive, honestly. It's like it's very addictive to continuously work on music and try and get better at it and try to reach more people, obviously, because I'm a fucking nobody. So which is kind of cool, being a nobody. What keeps you motivated when you ran out of ideas? I think it's just the fact that I'm like, okay, this has happened many times before, so my ideas are going, like, it's gonna come back. It's not like this is just, it's not like, okay, one and done, boom, like you have no more ideas. It's they come from like real life experiences, and they come from movies, they come from games. So usually to stay motivated, I do a lot of like sampling when I can't think of ideas necessarily, because it sparks something. Or I'll watch a lot of movies, or I'll listen to soundtracks or anything, like just read stories, like find things out that I could use to kind of spark an idea, really just to keep the mindset that it's not gone, because that you could fall down that little pit of despair and be like, I'll never fucking think of anything creative again, and then you just, next week you're working on a fucking album. So yeah, that's pretty much how that works. What happened that made you a musician? What happened that made you What happened that made you a musician? I went through a breakup when was I 19? Yeah, I was 19 at that time. I went through a breakup and I was like, I don't know how the fuck to even, like, how do I go about, like, handling this? And I went, I was like 3-4 months. I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym, which I did. I went to the gym. I'm gonna get jacked, and then I'm gonna fucking go out. I'm just gonna fuck a bunch of bitches and blah blah blah. It didn't work. It didn't feel great. The gym felt amazing. I was like, it was like the healthiest I'd ever been, like physically, but mentally it was probably not my worst. It was the second worst though. It was pretty fucking bad. It was top 3. That's pretty bad. I have to fucking tier list of times that I felt like shit. Like I was like, I want to see how this outlet would work. Let's take a gander. You can only express it so much when you talk about it. Which artists have the biggest influence on your music style? That is a very, very good question because it's changed recently, but also it's kind of stays the same. A lot of people can hear like Travis Scott, like Days Before Rodeo and Rodeo Travis Scott, huge influence. Bon Iver is the influence in harmonies, stepping out of the box in a way, and also very much so just making things that are meant to be listened to at a specific time. Remember I had this talk with Badger and he was like, did you know that Justin Vernon, who's the lead singer of Bon Iver, he's like, Justin Vernon makes albums like they're specific for the season. Like he wants people to listen to these at this specific time. That's why like everything that I've done since he told me that, it's been specifically done for that time. Like you need to listen to it here. Like everything is calculated. There's not a single thing where I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, let's just put this out here. Like no, it's entirely calculated. James Blake is a huge influence, especially for sampling. Clams Casino, production wise, he's my favorite producer. I love Clams Casino's production. It's just so fucking good. It's so good. He's easily the biggest inspiration for me. I've been listening to his production since like 2011 when I first found it. And I was like, this is fucking insane. Like just makes you feel something without even having to speak words. And I think that's like the greatest thing. Bones was a big influence on me as well because Bones was like really the first one that I ever saw that was like screaming on like fucking trap beats and shit. And then when X came along, I was like, damn, you can actually really just let it all out like on a track. Like, holy fuck. I was always doing like these slow songs, but they weren't like I was trying very hard to like really capture a specific feeling. I listened to Snow by X and I was like, this is fucking perfect. Like it was perfect. Like I was like, this is fucking, it was so goddamn good. Like, and that inspired me to this day about, you know, doing, a soft, like you could have a soft sample and just rap over it and just like the rap could, you know, you just kind of just let it all out. It's like spoken word but mixed with rap. So I had only done that maybe like once or twice before I found that. So I was like, this is really like a direction I want to head in, but I wanted to make it my own. So, you know, I've never been called a clone by anybody. People say that I'd sound, you know, like I remind them of X and stuff, and I don't take any offense to that at all. It's when someone's like, "Oh, you're a copycat of something." It's like, please don't say that, because I think that music is that's the beauty of music. It's like somebody that would like that I would hear that sounds like me, and I'd be like, I inspired somebody. Like that to me that's the whole fucking point. Like you're supposed to, you know, everything's supposed to kind of flow together, and I mean, you can tell when someone's copying. You don't want to completely copy people, but like you could tell when when you're inspired. You want to be inspired by your peers and everything. Can you tell more about your life during EP Winter? Some kind of backstory. EP Winter is also renamed to Pine now. I made it in 2017. It was the beginning of 2017, and it was awful. Like making it was awful. Listening to it now still like brings me right back into it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why did I do this to myself? But also like, I'm so glad that I did. And this might be overhyping it, but like, I mean, I'm not even hyping it up. It's just a very depressing EP. It's like 5 songs. It was meant to be an entire album. I stopped. I had to stop because I remember I texted Badger. I think it was like a very simple sentence. I don't remember exactly what it was because I was pretty out of it at the time. But I did text him something specific, and he was like, yeah, you need to stop. He's like, he made me stop pretty much. And because I was like, should I or should I not? He's like, no, just stop. Like, there's no point even continuing. Like, you're just fucking hurting yourself. That time was, I was very much living in the past. I kept going back to the past. I wanted to be in the past. I fuck the present, fuck the future. I want to be in the past. And it was so unhealthy. I rearranged my entire room to look how it did. I wanted to recreate like 2013, 2014, so I could get into that mindset, so I can make the EP and the album, what was supposed to be an album. But I was like, I want to make this a certain way. So I have a wax burner. I burn like candle waxes. I put specific waxes in the burner. I listened to all the music that I listened to back then, the most depressing shit that would like make me feel whatever. It'd bring me right back to it. My entire room is rearranged to look like how it, like, it was basically like I sat in my room the whole time. Like it was like sitting in a cocoon. Like it was just like, it was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like what the hell? Like I think about it now, I'm like, I see what I was doing, but at the same time I would never do anything like that again. And it took me a fucking long time to get out of that. Like I basically like manifested the worst emotions inside myself and couldn't handle it. And I sat there for like, I don't even know, it was until like early 2018 I had that shit just like, it was nonstop, just eating away at me. Like all of 2017 I was just, ooh, it was bad, bro. It was bad. It wasn't a fun time. How many push-ups can you do? Like 30, 40? That's all I got anymore, bro. All I got left in the tank. Do you plan on going mainstream? I don't think anyone plans on ever going mainstream. That's actually not true. You have plenty of people that are like clout chasing fucking pussies out here. They're just like, oh, they're so fucking annoying. I wouldn't really like to be mainstream to where like, I don't know. I don't want everyone watching every single fucking move that I do. I don't want everyone, whatever. I don't know. I like to have privacy now. Like I was more open back like 2018, 2019. I was constantly doing Instagram lives, constantly. I was very much like in your fucking face. Like my fan base knew everything that was going on in my life, and now it's like I don't really update anybody on shit because I just don't feel comfortable doing it. So I can't say that I plan on it, but it just might happen. I don't know. I don't think I'm capable of going mainstream though. I don't think my music is that type of music. Do you think the overall feeling of an album reflects an era of your life and how you felt while you made it? Absolutely. A lot of albums that I have, I'll listen to them and it brings me right back to that time period. And some of them are my favorites just because of the nostalgia of it. And it reminds me of the samples that I was using when I made it, the environment that I was in, the atmosphere, everything just kind of comes right back when I listen to it. I fucking love that feeling. I love that feeling so much. It's amazing. It's like watching a movie that you used to watch as a kid. And also they're always written specifically for that time. And even if they are like a concept album, they're written for that time. And I still put pieces of myself inside those concept albums. And then a lot of my albums are just personal. Like Overthought and Carousel are connected. I love that. Like I really do. Because I know I'm going to come back to it and be like, all right, like just I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. That's a good question though. How you been feeling lately about family relationships and music? It's hard to say. Some days are better than others. Like a balance. Just been tired. Been really fucking tired. Relationships, I could not be happier with the friends that I have in my life. I have amazing friends, amazing supporters, amazing family members, everything. Very, very privileged to have the family that I do. You know, I have a mom, I have a dad that are still here together that support me. I have a beautiful sister who's very supportive. I'm very grateful for the relationship that I have with my sister and my parents and a lot of my cousins. And obviously my friends, I treat them like they're like my family to me. Like I would die for all of them. I would like they're everything to me. I think the number one relationship that I'm most grateful for is Miss Biv. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, like you'll see her a few different times, but I keep our relationship very closed. But she's something else, man. She definitely helps. She helps a lot with just the way that I think, like the process of how I go about dealing with my anxiety and my depression. And we have so many different discussions about everything. And I don't know, I love her. I do. I love her to death. And I appreciate the relationship that I have with her so much. What's the first album artist that spoke to you deeply? I don't really know what album specifically, but I know the hands down the first artist that spoke to me deeply was Keaton Henson. And Keaton Henson has this way about his music and the way that he writes and everything where I just related to it more than anything I've ever heard before him, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, as soon as I heard it, it was like this feeling of comfort. He takes all the emotions that you feel and then just is able to write them in such a way like that I've never heard anybody do that before. Why do you delete songs? You've deleted classics. Certain songs I'm like, I don't like them anymore, or they're just not meant for this time. I'm like, nah, these have to be put out at a different time. And some of them were just like, they weren't that good, but I rushed to put them out. And for me, it's like, if I personally don't like it, I'm not going to keep it out. And I think that that's something that people have to respect. And it does frustrate me when people don't respect that. And I do understand the frustration of someone, you know, where they're like, well, I like that song and all these different things, but it does come down to my opinion of the song and my, like, it's my work, it's my expression, it's my work, it's all that. So if I think it's not doing what it's supposed to do, then I'm taking it down. What do you think of your old music? I'm on the fence about it. It depends on how old we're going. Trash music. I'll say that. Trash. But it was needed. It was needed. It's like stepping stones. Like, so yeah, but definitely I don't recommend anyone sitting down listening to it. I'll listen to it just for the sake of being like, wow, I really thought this was good at one point. Fucking idiot. Like, the fuck. What's your history as a producer? I started off producing before I actually did like lyrics and everything. And I was doing type beats and all that. And I had like a channel that I think the highest it reached was about like 27,000. I didn't like that Biv was just a producer name. And when I put out personal music, they were like, what the fuck is this? So I just completely said, like, I'm just going to reset and just go right into just making my own stuff. And that's that. So I just redid it. And I'm so happy that I did. Favorite artist at the moment right now is William Crooks, Derek Pope, and Beam are my top three right now. But it could be like, you know, like, couple months ago, I mean, Willie Crooks is in there like almost all the goddamn time. Does Biv watch dramas? I don't know what you mean by dramas. I watch all types of film and TV shows, so I definitely do like the dramatic side of things. I don't, if you're saying dramas and like reality TV type drama, fuck no, I hate that shit. I think it's so fucking corny and annoying. I can't stand it, but at the same time, I'll watch it like a guilty fucking pleasure, and I'll just sit there feeling so dirty afterwards. I'm just like, wow, like, what the fuck was that? Like, why'd I do that? I feel like that's like, yeah, that's just, but yeah, I guess, so yeah, I guess that's a yes. Biv watches dramas. Favorite artist of all time? That's really hard to pick. Well, I'm, you know, Justin Vernon, Keaton Henson, Phosphorescent, Deer Tick. That's too much. It's too much. I can't. Yeah, it's a lot. If you had to go back when you first began your journey in music, is there anything you would do differently? Not a single thing. No. I used to regret some things, like, oh, I wish I did this and did that and blah 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 blah. But everything that I did got me to where I am now, and I wouldn't be the person I am now. I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in now. So I would much rather be where I am now than think like, oh, well, this could have been different, or if I did this way. It's pointless. It doesn't do any good. Is it harder creating song titles or album titles? Let me check if this is still recording. Album titles by far. Song titles are pretty fucking easy. I'm like, this is what this song means, etc, etc. I'm gonna put it like this, and this is how I'm gonna describe it. And, you know, like, sometimes I'll pick out two random ass lyrics, just words that are in the song, and put them together, and that's how I get my song titles. Album titles have to have like a very, very specific meaning, but I always calculate that shit before I even start the album. The album has a name. Pretty much every album that I've done has had a name before I even finished it, or at least like a basis of like what the name is going to be and what it's about. But definitely album titles are harder. Well, I've seen that you sometimes make your own beats for your songs. Even advice for, and this obviously Instagram cuts it off like they love to do. If I were to give advice on doing your own beats and everything, I would say, without a doubt, always take the time to focus on one thing. If you want to fix your 808s, your snares, your kicks, you focus on that one thing, a kick, a snare, or an 808, and you fucking study the shit out of how to do it. And then you take that and you flip it on its fucking head and you say, fuck that. I don't, like, there's no rules. Don't follow a fucking rule book and be like, I have to do this and that. Like, I always say that about every single thing regarding art, and especially music, everything. Don't just follow a fucking rule book. What is one goal you'd love to achieve with your music or your creations in the future? I feel like I already answered this one, so I'm not going to answer it again. I'll say a goal I would love to achieve is to have an entire crowd singing my lyrics back with me. What is the question you get the most that you hate answering? Sorry, LOL. Probably the one that I just made fun of about someone asked me for my presets and all that shit. I fucking hate it. It is so fucking annoying. Or the beauteous one of where someone sends me a message and I don't get around to it. I'll be like, hey, I'll get back to you when I can. And like a couple days later, they fucking just send a question mark. Best memory. There's a lot of good memories that I have. And I think not to get off topic, but I did it. I tried to capture that with Making You Proud, the video and everything, just bringing up a bunch of like great memories. There's a lot of personal ones that I don't think I really want to share. It's like I like my own personal thing that I don't want to just put out there. Yeah, there's some that are like really happy memories, others that are like happy but they're bittersweet, gut-wrenching memories. What does it mean mentally for you to release a song, capacity wise, maybe as a kind of, god damn it, I cut it off again. I can answer the first part of that. Is that mentally for me, releasing a song, it means exactly what like how I'm feeling at that time. Whatever emotions I'm feeling at that time, I'm letting out in that song, like in that release. An album is like a collected thing, and it could also be a concept. I get stressed when I drop albums. When I drop singles, never stress about singles, really. If you had a collab with anyone right now, who would it be and why? James Blake. I take a lot of inspiration from James Blake, and I think that he's also one of my top artists of all time. I left him out of that other category, like, because he's versatile as shit. I would like to think I'm versatile as shit, so I think it would be great. Hit me up, James. Where does your distinctive sound come from? What inspires it? It's like my own personal experiences with mental health and things that I've gone through to where I just didn't know how to express it in any other way, so I turned to music to do it, and that was that. I'd never really found a better outlet. And I did filmmaking before this, and it's like filmmaking was a good outlet, but it wasn't as good as music. It's inspired by a lot of things that I feel, and when I do concept albums, like I've said in the past, like it, and I'm pretty sure I said it in this fucking interview, but I did the other shot 2 days ago. There's always pieces of me inside the music. I never make it just to make it and be like, I don't know, like, oh, this will sound cool, let's just do this. Like, nah, I hate that shit. If a custom Yankee Biv candle was made, what would it smell like? Well, first off, it would probably be a Bath and Body Works candle. It would, in the words of Bad Lad, who before he met me, he asked me what I thought he would smell like. I was like, I don't know, you seem like you would smell like some sort of fruit, like strawberry something, and I got it right. I was like, what do you think I smell like? He was like, leather. And I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I guess it would smell like fucking leather, according to Bad Lad. Yeah, leather scented candle. Which I didn't smell like that at all, by the way, when he met me. So. Do you have a listener in Poland? How do you feel about it? I'm guessing this means like you have listeners in Poland. How I feel about my Polish listeners. I love having more European listeners than American listeners. I would rather blow up in Europe than blow up in the US. If you've followed me for a long time, you know that with my Russian community, very much attached to my Russian supporters and just all my European supporters. Something about my Russian supporters, man. I don't know what it like. I don't know. It's something about them, man. Like, I feel like European listeners are really, really loyal. And not saying that US listeners aren't, but there's just something different about European listeners. And if you know, you know. Like, you just, that's it. If you know, you know, you know? Would you consider allowing remixes of your favorite songs you have made? Yes. Do you ever struggle to record songs that are a lot more personal to you? Not necessarily, no. Not like it used to be. It used to be way harder, and now I just kind of dive headfirst into it. I'm like, I know how I feel. I'm just gonna jump right into the emotions of it, and just that's it. Like, I don't really question it anymore. I'm just like, fuck it, let's go. Like, it's there. Might as well just let it out. What's something that you'd consider one of your biggest accomplishments in life? Why? My first live performance, which was I opened up for Spider Gang last year. It was last September. It just hit so hard, like emotionally, for everyone that was involved in my life from the beginning. Like it's a long story to tell, and I'm not going to tell it right now. But it took a lot for me to get there, and I definitely, it was an emotional moment for me. Like everyone in my life, it was just emotional as fuck. It was just like it was unbelievable. Honestly, it was, you really can't understand it unless you were a part of my like whole fucking mental journey from like 2018 to now, and even before that. But yeah, it took a lot to get there. So, do you know any strategies for getting big, getting more recognition? I do not. I don't. I'm still trying to figure all that out. There's so much going on within like the meta for promoting your music changes every 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't know. There's strategies to how I make my music, but there's nothing to how I promote it, and I'm not very good at promoting. I don't know any tricks of the trade, but I am trying to learn it more so, and I'm trying to not be so stubborn about it as well, because I do get stubborn. Goals for the new year. As you can see, I'm a fucking stick. I'm a goddamn string bean, bro. I'm built like a straw. Like a paper straw. People tell me that I'm built and like I'm cut and all that, but I was bigger back whenever, like I said, and like I was just bigger back in the day, and I like would be more physically fit and everything. That's a big goal of mine, to be able to do that again, because my anxiety holds me back from that. There's a reason why I'm skinny. Like some people will be like, oh, like you're a drug, you this and that, blah blah. It's like, I take my medication that I've been prescribed by my doctor to take to help me, you know, build up certain chemicals. Yeah, I would like to be more physically fit, have a better schedule, like sleep schedule, everything. Like just like small details that, like small goals that I want, but they're all like obtainable. But it's like you just got to take one at a time. But getting physically fit is definitely one of them, because I want that for myself, because I didn't do it for myself back in the day. Like I want that for myself, because I guarantee I'm gonna watch this fucking interview. I'm gonna look at this shit. I'm gonna be like, ugh, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you look like shit. Like, I look better in pictures, bro. No one can tell me different. I look better in pictures. I'm very photogenic. I will say that. I'll admit that. But I don't look as good in person. That's a fucking fact. Thoughts on how hot Prod Plague is? Asked by Prod Plague. Plague, you already know how hot you are, bro. Yeah, you don't need me to fucking tell you. You beautiful Aussie cunt. You're absolutely gorgeous, ain't you? What is a life-changing realization you've had about life and coping with mental health? It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. Only you can help yourself. There's no... Like you can't rely on others to help you, because it's just not going to work that way. Like obviously having a good support system is fantastic, but you're alone with yourself and your own thoughts. But at the end of the day, I had to come to terms with a lot of the things that I was like scared of, come to terms with things that I was in denial of, toxic traits that I had. You really have to dig deep and be like, this is what I am, but I can change this. And just as fast as you hit rock bottom, you can get out of it. There's no limit. There's no limit to what you can do. Just be careful what the fuck you manifest. Really be very cautious of that. Stay focused on specific things, on what you want. Always be mindful of how you're talking to yourself. And like be your own best friend. Like just don't be so hard on yourself. Don't treat yourself like complete shit. People will do that for you. You don't have to do it. Don't do it for other people. They'll do that for you. Don't worry. Like, don't get so caught up on treating yourself like shit, okay? Okay. What music software do you use? FL Studio 20. What would you say is your biggest challenge while making music? Not being caught up in numbers. I get caught up in numbers a bit too much. Very fucking annoying. What separates Biv from David James? Biv is like the heightened versions of all my emotions. So like anxiety, depression, and even confidence. So when you listen to some of my rap, it's very overly confident. Am I that confident in real life? To an extent, yeah. And then a lot of the other times is me like recalling a lot of the anxiety that I've been through and like what it felt like, and depression. But am I depressed 24/7? No. Am I anxious 24/7? A little bit. I do have a bit of a hard time when it comes to anxiety. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's more like, it's not really a character. It is me, but it's like it's just really diving deep into those emotions. And then David James is just me, where like I like to entertain, I like to stream and everything. I love that. That's like my filmmaking side, like where I used to make action videos with my friends and shit. Like it was just so much fun. Like I love being myself, and I think I can be myself a lot more now than what I was like even like a few years ago. Like I'm not putting on a facade for anybody, and I think that's really important. So you have the separation, but it's different ways of me expressing myself. What do you do when you aren't making music? I am either editing, gaming, streaming. I'm out with my girl or out with friends, or just out by myself, trying to stick to hobbies, napping, watching films, any type of like show, all that stuff. So the pretty much the normal lifestyle. And probably sample searching when I'm not, but that counts as making music, doesn't it? Tattoo tour. I have I'll just show you my favorites. So I have there's so many that it's hard to pick a favorite, to be fair. I love having this one. Cupid with an AK. Bunny rabbit right here. It's like a very classic, very traditional. Butterfly. I like the little key that I got here. My entire hand I love, and I love this scorpion so fucking much. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy up over here. The wolf. You know, Crying Heart. You know, this is Ollie. This is Ollie the owl. This is my boy right here. My mom has had 2 open heart surgeries. So, and she's also a nurse. So I got this for her. Fucking Pac-Man, Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy, Relax in Russian, the hand tattoo, the Mandela. I think I butchered that whole fucking saying. And obviously this is my little smiley face right here. Little smiley face on my hand. And Saint Sky, which is for my grandma. And then Sleep in Russian, because I just love sleeping, and be remembered to remember to sleep and remember to smile, which I remember to sleep, and I think I remember how to smile. There's a bunch of angel numbers all over my fucking body. When you could choose 2 things to be very famous on Twitch or on YouTube, which would you take? YouTube. Go from YouTube to all different platforms. You could say the same thing for Twitch, but I feel like YouTube would be the one where you could really expand to other different platforms. What is your favorite flavor of Pringles? I used to like the extra cheddar one. That shit was fucking fire, bro. Extra cheddar was like, goddamn. What is your education? High school. That's it. And I barely passed the EU tour planning, please. It's gonna be really hard to get out there just because of like I'm a nobody, bro. Like I'm not big at all. So, but I do obviously want to get out to the EU. If you weren't doing music, what other career would you be doing instead? Probably filmmaking. Yeah, probably filmmaking. Either that or like streaming or editing for streamers or doing something like that. But probably just anything that has something to do with film or editing would be my career path. Oh boy, I sure wonder if my fave music artist streams games. Plug your Twitch, doofus. My Twitch is David James. And I'll have the link down in the bio and whatnot, or in the comments section. And the same person asked, Bivy Wivy, what you think about the new God of War? I haven't played it yet. I have to do the playthrough for YouTube, because I did the poll where everyone voted and YouTube won by like a smidgen. Where like instead of streaming it, I'm just gonna record it and upload it, which I like that because then I can play the game at my own pace and when I want to. So I really am excited to play the fuck out of it. How would you keep your sanity while making 8 albums in 2020? I didn't. I find it fun. That was like how I kept my sanity, to be honest with you. I think that's how I kept it. What's your long-term life goal right now? Provide for my family, all my loved ones, and provide for a family that I make my own. One day, have little bivs running around, just to be like a really great father. And before all of that, to travel, to see a lot of what I've always wanted to see in the world. I have to pee so bad. Wow, fucking Christ, bro. Are you British or American or something? I actually cannot tell. This should answer your question. I get that a lot though. I do get like the people think I'm British. They think I'm English for some reason. I don't know. Who's been your favorite 3 people to collaborate with over the years? You bastard for fucking asking this. Number 1 is obviously Black. I love working with Black. I can work with him every fucking day. It does not matter what the fuck it is. I love working with him. He's my favorite. That's like, he's like a brother to me. That is like, I fucking love working with Black. In no particular order, you have like Bad Lad, Pezhead, Navi, who asked this fucking question, Saint Sleep, Red Room, work with him with his beats. I have to fucking pee so goddamn bad, bro. Holy shit. And I mean, I can't really, like, Amertum, bro, I'm missing so many people. I know I am. James Gorzica as well. I loved working with him too. Astasha, Kamara, I loved working with everybody. Who Am I love, like, Kilibola, love working with everybody. I can't keep going. I'm leaving people out, but I can't keep going. You know that I love you. You know, like, you know who you are. You know that I love working with you. You know it. I have no fucking personal issues with anybody in the fucking industry. Like I love everyone that I've worked with and have met. Like I have no ill will against anybody. Now, thank you all so much for watching this interview and asking these beautiful questions. I love you all so much. Stay safe, drink water, eat good food, get good sleep, and be persistent with who you want to be, where you want to go in life, and keep your goals ahead of you and stay in the current moment. Don't look too far ahead and don't go backwards. Please and thank you. Love you all. Stay safe. Mwah. From the bottom of my heart. I'm gonna go piss now. Holy fucking shit, bro.